Well, out there for today, we have a little bit of shower activity that we've been dealing with, and that's going to continue here as we head throughout this afternoon. It's been a lot of rainfall out there as we've made our way throughout the last, you could say, few weeks here. It hasn't been as wet of a February as to what we had in January, but we're still dealing with a little bit of rainfall here and there. So it's Thursday. We do these updates every single Thursday to keep you updated on what you can expect for the weekend ahead. And then, of course, we always talk about what the weather's going to be like as we head throughout from Monday and all the way throughout the week. Every Monday we do an update too at 2:30, so you can be updated for the weather up ahead for your week. So first of all, for today, we're seeing a little bit of shower activity. This is every Thursday live, but you may be watching this at a later time. A lot of the information is still relevant. So if you're waiting for the forecast, don't worry. We're going to be talking about that in just a moment. But first of all, let's talk about what we're dealing with right now. Looking out all across the city, this is what we had as far as the time lapse was concerned this morning. You see all that cloud cover. We actually had a good amount of sunshine yesterday, and it made for a beautiful day. We hit 81 degrees. That was the first time since November 8th. So it's been a while since we were that warm. It's nice to have the warm conditions back. If you're a warm weather lover like me, you've noticed that a lot of flowers are starting to bloom and a lot of leaves are starting to show up, especially on the lower side of the forest. You know, the lower end of the forest always greens up first, and then the upper canopy picks up with a few weeks later, and then we end up having a beautiful green forest as we always do every year. So looking out towards Atlanta, you can see that we have a lot of cloud cover out there. Heading throughout today, that cloud cover is going to stick around. Looking out towards the airport, you see how cloudy it is, but not dealing with anything in the way of delays. So that's the good news. There's an airplane taking off right there on the runway. You see everything moving smoothly out there. And then looking up towards Rome, they've had a little bit of shower activity, maybe a little bit of rain right now. You can kind of see there some of the higher elevation there in the background, how it's kind of faded away. That's probably from a little bit of light shower activity. The better chance for rain for today is going to be into far north Georgia, closer on up there towards Floyd County. Looking off towards Georgia 400 and I-285 right there at Northside Hospital, you see the cloud cover, maybe some thicker clouds right there that could be producing some rain. And we just took a look at downtown, but always nice to see it. We'll take another look there. There's the showers that we're having up towards Rome again. You see some of that shower activity that's occurring. We just saw that on the tower cam. Like I said, heavy at times. The better chance for rain is going to be into far north Georgia and northwest Georgia for today, north of the Atlanta metro. But that doesn't mean we're not going to get any rain in the Atlanta metro. We still have a chance for rain for us as well. A lot of cloud cover all across the southeast. It's not constant rainfall. That's the good news, but we still deal with it. The clouds, though, are constant. Let's take a look at what we can expect here as we head throughout the next 48 hours. Forecast track showing for 5 p.m. Maybe a little bit of shower activity still out there. So, yeah, the evening commute still going to be impacted by this. We get into Friday. Here's what the timeline shows. We got the cloud cover to start off the day. A few spotty showers, maybe over towards Carroll County, closer on towards Carrollton itself, along the I-20 corridor. That shifts off to the east, and then the shower activity starts to pick up again as we head into the afternoon hour right there around 5:30. Look at some of those heavier showers over South Carolina. Those could very well end up over North Georgia. I want to make sure you know that by the time we head towards Friday at 5:30 p.m. So the better chance for rain for tomorrow is going to be far north Georgia again. You're going to see in the 7-day outlook for the amount of rain that we're expecting, it's going to be mainly far north Georgia that sees a bulk of the shower activity. We move into Saturday, starting off the day, spotty showers out there, temperatures in the 50s to 60s, rising into the 70s and even 60s in some spots for the afternoon. Temperatures are staying pretty warm for this next week. I want you to look at how warm we're going to be there for Friday. 71, 68 for Saturday. Moving into Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, we're going to have temperatures into the 70s for highs each day. This is our average high, 60 degrees. We've been well above it. So when we hit 81 yesterday, that lets you know we are well above average for temperatures, and that's kind of where we've been hanging out here as we've been making our way throughout this past month. Also, January was above average despite the fact that we had so much rainfall that month. Looking at February, you see that we hit 81 again. That was the first time since November 8th. If you missed the update earlier on in the weathercast that we're doing right here, you heard me say November 8th was the last time we hit 80. So very warm conditions out there as we've made our way throughout this week. And you can see that we have been above average for not just our highs, but also our lows. Looking at this graph, you'll notice this blue line that's located down towards the bottom and a red line. The blue line shows what our average low is for this time of year. And you can see that we've only had a few spots like back around early February where we were below our average. Back in January, we were below our average a little bit, but a majority of these days, our lows have been well above. the last couple of days, our low temperatures have actually been above our average high, which is that red line that you see. And you can tell the majority of this month has brought our temperatures above average for this time of year. We did have one pretty big cool down here just last week when we dropped down to 29. That was actually the coldest that we have been so far this year, tied with another date back in January. So the highest temperatures we've had so far this year in Atlanta, we hit 81 again just yesterday. We hit 77 back on the 20th. You see that we've been above 70 degrees quite a few days so far for this year. And of course, we know those numbers are going to change big time. Give it a couple of months. Big temperatures expected to come back, of course, by the time we head into May, June, July. It's looking like we're going to be really hot, as we always are, though, right? Here's our coldest temperature so far for this year. We hit 29 again on January 15th, but then again, February 18th, just a few days ago. Imagine, just back on February 18th, it's the 23rd here, just about a week ago, we had temperatures that were well or below freezing. And now we're all the way up to 81. Man, the temperatures have really fluctuated there, haven't they? But we haven't hit below freezing too many times so far this year. Right at freezing there for January 14th and 28th. Below freezing for the 27th, the 24th of January, the 15th of January as well. And then February 4th and February 18th have been below freezing. The amount of rain we've had so far this year has been pretty significant too, and we're going to add to that number as we head throughout this week. You see a lot of rain chances in there for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Dry again on Tuesday, though. The good news is these rain chances are low, down to a 20 to 30% chance each day. So it's also going to be spotty. You're not going to see rain every day. It's going to be kind of gloomy like what we have for our Thursday today. A lot of cloud cover out there, but not going to be a soaker of a day, just off and on rain. You can see where the higher totals are. In the green there, where you see south of the Atlanta metro, that's where they're going to have about 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 of an inch of rainfall possible over the next week. The Atlanta metro picking up anywhere from about 1/2 of an inch to an inch of rainfall. And then you look into far north Georgia, you start seeing some of those purple colors show up. There's a key here at the top of the screen, and those purple colors are closer on towards 1.5 inches to 2 inches of rainfall. So you can see they have a lot more rain expected into far north Georgia, where we're seeing the higher chances for rain for today. The Atlanta metro, we have been ahead on our rainfall for this year. We remain ahead, even though it has been a little bit drier here the last couple of weeks compared to what we had in January. We are still more than 1 inch ahead of where we should be for the normal year to date. And of course, with that being said, we don't have any drought in our region. We do have some drought in Georgia, though. I want to go all the way down towards Brunswick, southeast Georgia, stretching all the way over through Valdosta, close to Thomasville. Thomasville not included in any drought situations there north of Tallahassee, but you see just west of there some abnormally dry conditions. Valdosta and under a abnormally dry condition there, and then you see moderate drought into the far southeast corner of Georgia, closer on over towards Amelia Island there over on the Florida side. The month-to-date rainfall shows that we have been, again, drier for this month. We're about 1.5 inches behind where we should be in February. Remember, we finished up January way wetter than what we should be, so it's nice to have a little bit of drier conditions this February, but we wish we could get a little more sunshine with that too, like what we had for today. Of course, we have the rain chance for today. That's going to be about a 30% chance. Moving into Friday, you notice that we have a 30% chance in for there, 30% chance for Saturday, 20% chance for Sunday, and then that 30% chance for Monday before we go drier for Tuesday and Wednesday. High is going to be in the 70s each day there, lows in the 40s to 50s. 40 degrees is our low this time of year, our average low. 60 is our average high. We are well above both of those all week, despite the fact that we have those rain chances in there. So what about the 8 to 14 day outlook? We're now looking beyond the next 7 days. Looks like we are going to be wetter than average. So maybe just a little bit wetter than average. You notice that our probabilities there aren't very high, like what they have further off to the north, closer on into Ohio and into the northeast. So kind of going to be close to maybe just above average on the rainfall, which isn't really too much rain for this time of year. And then you see the 8 to 14 day outlook for temperatures showing above average temperatures. So these temperatures that we have in the upper 60s to 70s each day, maybe even flirting with 80 degrees a day or two from day 8 through day 14. In other words, beyond the 7-day forecast, we're now looking at that first full week of March. Looks like we are going to be above average for those temperatures, again, with a little bit of shower activity to go along with it. But that's just going to help those spring flowers really bloom. Don't plant just yet, though. Before we talk about the weekend getaways, I want to make sure you know, do not plant your gardens just yet. I say that because remember, our coldest conditions last year were in the middle of March. We dropped down to the 20s. Well, I say last year until December, that is. Our coldest conditions as we headed throughout winter and into the early part of spring last year came in March, mid-March. And then we had December hit, of course, and we had those temperatures really plummet. But when it came to springtime temperatures, again, it was really cold. So don't do any planting until we head really into that first week of April. That's what we usually try to say. Around the Easter time frame is when you're getting that better shot of, okay, I think it's safe to plant now. So not yet. Enjoy those flowers that are blooming on the trees, the natural blooming that is happening, and the leaves coming back in around the forest while it's happening. But don't try to do any of that garden planting just yet. Here's a look at your weekend getaways. Let's talk a little bit about that. If you're headed down towards Destin, a lot of cloud cover, but still a great day at the beach. Temperatures in the 70s for highs. So it's nice to see those temperatures rebound nicely. You see 50s to 60s for highs for Gatlinburg. A little bit of shower activity for them. Don't think they're going to see any snow. So maybe, unless you're all the way up towards Mount LeConte, maybe they get a little bit, but it's going to be mainly rain with how warm it is. You see Charleston dealing with a little bit of shower activity there. Savannah is going to be drier, so if you're trying to head down to the Georgia coastline, looks like good weather for it to enjoy some of that beautiful architecture, those live oaks all throughout town. Great weather to go down there and check out Savannah. Maybe you're headed closer to home here in North Georgia. Maybe headed up to Lake Lanier. Temperatures expected to be in the 70s for highs by the end of the weekend and into early next week after we take a little bit of a dip in temperatures there on Saturday. And then your Peach State outlook showing that we are going to have those rain chances over the next 3 days, mainly for middle Georgia into North Georgia. South Georgia not as likely on those rainfall chances. And then finally, your Georgia State Park forecast showing that we are going to have that little bit of chance for rain for tomorrow. Great weather to go hike Amicalola Falls. Cloudland Canyon has great waterfalls. Tallulah Gorge, we've had that little bit of rainfall here and there, especially from North Georgia where those bigger waterfalls are. And it looks like great weather to go out there and check out the waterfalls themselves. All this rainfall kind of swells them up, makes them look absolutely beautiful for this time of year. And then maybe you want to go hike up to some of those higher points. Let's say Brasstown Bold. We don't have it on here. You could end up with some rain, but you're also going to be up in the clouds at that point with how cloudy it's going to be as we head throughout the next few days. So I want to bring back up the 7-day forecast. Of course, we're going to continue to keep you updated on everything right here at 11 Alive. We do these updates for every Thursday at 2:30 p.m. Be sure to tune into them. Every Monday at 2:30 p.m. We had to miss earlier on this week on Monday, but we'll be back again this next Monday at 2:30 to keep you updated on that forecast for your work week as you try to plan for that and then for the weekend. Now remember, you can download the 11 Alive app to your Roku and Fire TV devices. If you haven't done that yet, be sure to do that. You can get updates like this, long-form updates on news and weather right there at your fingertips whenever you want it. You don't have to wait for the newscast all the time. And then also, you can download the app on your phone to stay updated on the forecast whenever you're on the go, including keeping an eye on radar. So that's it for our update for today. We'll keep you updated on everything right here at 11 Alive. Be sure to tune in every evening and every morning for those updates. And we'll have our next update here for our long-form updates on Monday at 2:30 p.m.